Hi everyone, my name is Georgi Ivanov here with The Best Wrestler, and what we're gonna do is Technique Tuesday number 3. And I have here as a partner Sean Hall. He's visiting us from Idaho. He's getting ready for preseason nationals, so I'm gonna use him as a partner today. What we're gonna work on today is 2-on-1 series, or the Russian tie. It's one of my favorite moves, and I'm gonna show you a few different ways to set it up, and then I'm gonna go over just the traditional, how we utilize it to take people down. And then from there, the troubleshoot basically the main defenses that they do, which is post on the head, peel the top wrist, and or the top hand, peel the wrist, and maybe pull my elbow. So I'm just gonna cover all the main defenses there. Okay, so the first one we're gonna start with is when they just normally post on me, maybe right here. They collar tie or they post, whatever, right? So I'm gonna go across right here with 4 fingers on top. I'm gonna grab his wrist. I'm gonna shrug with my shoulder, and the idea on a 2-on-1 here is to get my butt as close as I can to his butt, right? A lot of people try to square up with me, and my goal is to not allow them to do that. I wanna keep him close to me. So I'm gonna peel, I'm gonna go all the way up in the armpit and pull this back. I wanna keep my shoulder on top of his shoulder, okay, not under. The lock doesn't get any tighter if you go under and you try to grab it like this, right? It gets tight by using leverage. So if I grab here, short arm, pull this, get my shoulder on top, apply pressure, then I can keep this tight right here. I want to create a little V, and I want to keep pulling him into me and apply pressure with my shoulder. This is a good 2-on-1. This is pretty tight. Okay, we can use that. Now, as they try to run away from me here, I want to utilize my top arm to really pull him into me, and my butt's going to go into him to stay close. One common mistake that people make here that I see is they try to control the head position. Okay, so if I'm on a 2-on-1, a lot of people want to be in head position right here. But if you think about it, if I do that, if I turn my head here, what does that do to my butt? Right, that puts it away from him. So actually it makes me want to square up with him, which is why a lot of people lose the 2-on-1. Right, they're here, they want head position, and now we're helping them square up with us. I don't worry about head position. He can have all the head position that he wants, it doesn't really matter. I'm on a 2-on-1, and I'm actually really close to him right here with my butt. So from here, the first thing we're gonna do is this. I'm gonna pretend like we're climbing up the arm, right? It's like a rope. So I'm gonna pull the top arm into me. This one's gonna go above the elbow. I'm gonna pull it in tight, and this one's gonna go behind. So we're here, pull, go above the elbow, pull tight. And now this one, I'm not gonna release the pressure to hug him. That's when a lot of the times the arm slips, okay? Instead, I'm gonna keep the pressure with my shoulder. This arm is just gonna swim back here, just like this. I'm still keeping the pressure. Still climb up here, grab this, and pull him in. Now, a couple ways to get him to the mat here. First, I can hop. So, hop on one leg, hook right here, pull him in tight. We can bring him to the mat, okay? That's one way for us to get a takedown, especially if they're running away from us and squaring up. So try to square up a little bit, Sean. So let's say they're squaring up. I'm here and here, and it looks like I'm losing him, right? But a good way for me to cut this distance and get close to him and get a takedown is to hop into him and hook on the inside of the leg, like this. Pull it in, bring him down to the mat. That's 2 in folk style. In freestyle, we would need to pull our leg out, which is pretty simple to do there. And the second thing is, once you're here on a 2-on-1, you climb up. If the guy doesn't necessarily run away from me, but if he maybe stands up tall or this leg is close or whatever, yeah, then it's easy for me. All I'm gonna do is grab behind, I'm gonna step behind him, hook this leg with my knee. Pretend like this is my 3rd arm, I guess. I'm gonna use my knee to sweep single his leg, right? Here, 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 here. Put all my weight into him, go behind him. Super easy. One more time. Feels. I'm here, here, here. Hook. Bring him down to the mat, or 2-on-1, above the elbow, grab the back, step behind, sweep single, run into him. Start riding here. So before I go into how we can finish a 2-on-1 based on how he defends it, right? Troubleshoot the defenses. I'm gonna just kind of go over some different ways to get to a 2-on-1, because a lot of people believe that 2-on-1, you only get to it by the guy posting on me or collar tying, and I have to peel that way. But a lot of times it becomes really predictable. You know, if you're wrestling some high-level guys, it's really, it becomes predictable and it's hard to get to it that way, but there's different ways to get to it. So obviously the first one that I showed was this, where he posts, right? I can peel here and get to my 2-on-1. But if we're wrestling low, if he controls my wrist a lot, whether it's this way or this way, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna grab a wrist, peel towards the gap. That's where he's the weakest on the lock. Okay, so I'm gonna peel away from it. Or if he's here, I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna go towards the gap again. Peel, okay, and now I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna hit up in the armpit, pull this back into me, okay? And now I can sit here with this for a little bit, but when I start climbing, I wanna pull this arm tight, the top arm, and this one is gonna go above the elbow again, behind the arm. If I go in front, that works too. We can drag here, right? We can do different things, but this sometimes becomes 50-50 position, okay? To where if I go from here, behind the arm, that's not a 50-50 position. I'm behind him here, basically. Look, I'm controlling his arm, I'm behind him, it's a lot easier. I have the advantage to score here, okay? So I prefer going from here, behind the elbow, and then going back behind him. So the wrist was one way. Another way is if let's say I collar tie or I post, and the guy grabs my elbow here, yeah, and his elbow pulls, right? That's okay, I'm gonna stay head to head, limp arm, go to the wrist, peel that, again, hold it, again, towards the gap here, right? He's holding my arm behind, I'm gonna go away from his arm. Peel, go back up to 2-on-1. That's a really easy way, really common way to do it. Or if I'm posting and he over ties here, a lot of people like to thumb block as well, right? This is kind of, it's annoying here, it stops a lot of attacks. So another way to do it is the same thing here. I can limp arm, peel the wrist, go back up the arm, okay? So those are just some common ways that we can go from hand fighting straight to 2-on-1. Okay, so the next one is once we get to 2-on-1, one of the most common defenses that people do is they push on the head, right? And they separate from us, and we tend to lose them right here a lot, especially when they're sweaty. And you know, it's just when the arm is sweaty, it's slippery, it's hard to keep it, right? Think about this. If I'm keeping the arm and he's standing low, the arm is this in this direction, is straight up like this, okay? So him pushing, he has my head as leverage here to push. I'm always gonna slip this arm, okay? So one little trick here before I show you how I finish this, but one little trick to keep the arm is actually to change your leverage, to change the direction of the arm. So instead of keeping it like this where it will slip, push it down. Now this becomes a really good handle here for me to pull in, okay? And this doesn't slip. If the arm is this way, this will slip. If the arm is down, and if I'm pushing the arm down, I can pull this into me, and it's a lot easier to keep this, okay? Next, if the arm is here on my head, if I keep my head straight this way, as it is right now, that's a really nice post for him, right? It's a wide area to cover here. He can use it as a post. But a lot of times when I'm going into my moves here, I want to turn my head into him, and a lot of times that slips this arm, okay? So there's a couple things. Some people prefer to post under. That's the common one, right? A lot of people like this. If he's posting, post square up with me. Good. Right here, they lower their level, they post, and they can get to their shots. Whether it's high crotch, double leg, doesn't really matter, right? What I found with this is a lot of times they sprawl on me there. It's predictable. Kids are expecting it, they see it coming. So I don't really love that one. What I prefer is what I'm gonna show you next, is a little bit of an elbow pull. So if I'm here and the guy's pushing away from me and he's separating, okay, I go over the top and I catch above the elbow. So I want to catch somewhere over here, above the elbow, okay? This becomes really good elbow pull for me to get the guy coming into me, pull him on top of me. It's really hard for them to sprawl that way, okay? I don't need to hug him behind the head. I can go in front of the head too, it's totally fine. Just keep the wrist, come here, pull him, lower your level, take your shot. So like this, push, Sean, good. Right here. It's probably one of the deepest double legs you're gonna get on if you can pull him on top of you. One more time. Here, I'm gonna just take you to the ground, not to the mat. So we're here, he's squaring up with me. Grab, pull, finish, and pick up. Okay. One more time. Again, one last thing on this. Just when you're coming here, move your head in. Okay, it'll help you slip this arm. If you keep your head like this, sometimes it's hard to pull. Yeah. So I want to lower my level, look in, pull this arm on top, load up your double leg. The next one is one of the more common defenses is when I get on a 2-on-1, they peel the wrist, okay? So, you know, quite frankly, a lot of times if they peel the wrist here, I can still, as long as I don't allow them to go on an underhook, right here, okay? If my elbow is open, they can go on an underhook and I lose the 2-on-1. So it's a big key there, once I have this top arm, to close in. My elbow is gonna point down and I'm gonna try to close the space here. I should be able to keep this arm for 3, 4, 5 seconds without giving up an underhook. So right here, I should be able to pull this in, go on an underhook. Yeah, I should be able to keep that for a little bit, okay? So from here, a lot of times what I do is I just peel and I go above the elbow and I finish my regular 2-on-1. But let's say I can't do that and the guy's squeezing my wrist really tight. Okay, what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna pull this into me. What that does is it stretches his arm out, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go straight to an arm bundle. So from here, pull in, go under, bundle his arms. Now, if he's squeezing my wrist tight, it's gonna be really hard to break this off and be able to use this arm. So what I gotta do is I rotate. I rotate towards myself, right here. Rotate, get on top, push this under, okay? One more time. He's got my wrist. I'm under here, I'm bundling the arms. Peel, get under. Now, I have a really good arm bundle. Here I can finish a few different ways, right? I can, if he's stepping with this leg in front, I can grab the neck, I can trip, hop, 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 bring him down to the mat. That's one way. 2, if he's stepping there, I can do a sweep single. So literally lower my level, if his head's up, lower my level, sweep single, keep the arms bundled. Really easy way to take him down. Right here. Next, same thing, pull this in, get an arm bundle, peel. Next, if his arm is down and he's backing up, I can snap him down to the mat. Snap him down and then start circling around. We can do a really easy cradle here as well, but anyways, grab the leg, circle behind. There's your cradle. We can finish a few different ways there, but that one works really well. Okay, the last one that I'm gonna work on is from 2-on-1. Again, one of the most common ones, and they peel the top hand, and everyone thinks that that's the answer to all the defenses from 2-on-1, right? Peel the wrist, they get their peel the fingers, yep, they get their elbow back, and it's like game over. Well, that's until you can figure this one out. So he peels my top hand. I immediately, by the way, my shoulder is still on top. It's keeping all the pressure. I'm gonna be leaning on him here, okay? Keep this. I'm gonna replace basically this hand with my knee, okay? So if he peels this top hand, I'm gonna put this on my knee just like this, and I'm gonna keep it straight down, okay? Now, all my weight is gonna be on top of him right here, and I'm gonna create a bridge between my leg and him. Nothing else is gonna be on the mat, right there. And he's holding me, there's a lot of pressure. Now, from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, this leg is gonna be on the mat just enough to move my other leg forward, okay? So I'm gonna step briefly, and take a hop and step with this leg. But the pressure is constantly gonna be on him. And my goal here, guys, is to stretch his arm forward that way. So towards the front of his head. And I'm gonna keep stretching. And once he gets to this point, there's so much pressure on his shoulder that he's gonna be down on the mat and I'm gonna be able to go behind. So I'll show you what it looks like. We're here, he peels, I immediately seal this off, okay? I start going forward, sliding down, and as soon as he falls down, I place this mat on the hand, I place this hand on the mat, and I'm immediately circling behind him right here. Bam. Okay? You don't want to let go of the wrist and jump on top of him because you're going to lose him there. If I let go of the wrist, his arm is faster than I am. He's always going to be able to reach back and stop me from going behind. But if I keep his wrist, his hand on the mat, and I use it as a post, I'll always be able to go behind him. One more time. We're here. Put it on my knee. Circle, circle, circle. Keep stretching him. Post this on the mat. Go behind him. Easy too. So that was one of my favorites because every time they peel the top hand, that's your go-to. And it just works really, really well.